Hey guys, Sean Bodley here. A few people have asked me to show some of the gear that I used on the making of my new album Balance. So let's go on a bit of a tour. Okay, so for the recording of the album, I didn't want to get too technical by having too many guitars on there and having all the songs sound different. So this was the main guitar for the first few tracks anyway, which is a JS100 with a couple of DiMarzio pickups in there, a Fred and a PAF Joe, and it's all pretty stock and standard. And so that was used on tracks like Summer's Return and Tears of Amber. Now this guitar I used as mainly a rhythm guitar, so it's on a lot of the rhythm tracks, a lot of the clean picking that you hear. It's just a standard Jam 70V in seafoam green with DiMarzio Evolution pickups. Right, for the track 1 in the chamber, all the rhythm guitars are 7-string. So I used a combination of 2 guitars for this song. And there they are there. So the pickups are, in this one I think they are deactivated 7s, and in this one they are Blazers. So this is the guitar that ended up on the majority of the album, and it pretty much arrived halfway through the recording process, so sort of around the end of December, and I ended up using this guitar as the main lead guitar on the rest of the tracks on the album. It's a custom built Ernie Taylor guitar from his ET Guitar Shop in Australia, and it's based on an Ibanez Gem design with a slightly thinner neck. The pickups are DiMarzio Breeds, and it's got a low pro edge tremolo and ebony fretboard. Okay, for the acoustic guitars on the album, what I did was basically had 2 JS A5 acoustics, which are the Joe Satriani signature models. I'd record those mic'd up and basically pan 1 hard left, and then I'd record another guitar, acoustic guitar, and record it direct into the interface and pan that hard right. So these were the 2 guitars that we used to be mic'd up, and they're basically the same guitar just in 2 different finishes. So that's the JS-A5. So the guitar that I used for the right pan, that was the direct recorded guitar, was an Ibanez EP10, which is Steve Vai signature model acoustic from Ibanez. And you can see from this guitar that it's actually thinner in body thickness compared to the other acoustics. Kind of see that there. So it definitely sounded a lot better plugged in. So this one was plugged in, recorded, panned hard right, and then the others were mic'd up and panned to the left. So that's all the guitars that we used. And for anyone interested, the strings are all Dead Arios, acoustic. On the standard guitars I use 9s to 46s, and on the 7-string it's also 9s to 46s, and with a 52 on the top for the 7-string. All the guitars were tuned to E flat except the 7 strings, which are just standard, and I think on one in the chamber the top string was tuned down to A, so drop A. And picks from Grover Allman Guitar Picks in Australia. Okay, let me talk you through some of the gear that I used for recording the album. I guess it all sort of starts down here with the Focusrite DSP which is my interface to my computer. So basically I can plug my guitars in here, I can control the volumes of them, the input volumes. I've got headphones coming out left and right, so I've got two different sets of headphones for that, and then an overall volume as well for the whole thing. So guitars can plug into that and go straight to the computer. The main thing that I used this for was in fact the bass guitars. I recorded bass guitars directly into here, and also used software such as Amplitude and Guitar Rig for my bass sounds. Okay, so for the guitar parts, this is what I got used, the Axe-Fx from Fractal Audio. It's a pretty daunting machine, and there's videos all over YouTube on how to use it and how to program it. But basically what it is an amp emulator, a cabinet emulator. It also has studio quality effects like delay, chorus, reverb, all that sort of thing in there. So pretty much my guitar went into there. From this machine it went out left and right into the Focusrite that I just showed you, and then from there into the computer. Now you can record with the Axe-Fx digitally and have it hooked straight to a computer via USB, but I didn't do it that way. And the reason why is when I recorded the guitars, I turned all the delays and reverbs off on the Axe-Fx and actually used the delays and reverbs that were in the software program that I was using. And the reason why I did that is so that I can change the delays and change volumes, levels and stuff like that after I've recorded the song. If I'd done it in the Axe-Fx first, then whatever gets recorded has to stay that way. So I changed the delays and reverbs afterwards, so there'll be more about that in a minute. So for things like wah pedal and whammy pedal and stuff like that, I have a Mission expression pedal that's hooked in to the Axe-Fx. This one's spring-loaded, so you can push it down and it just bounces back, which is great. For monitoring, I used KRK Rocket 6s, they're pretty awesome. And going into an iMac running 16 gig of RAM, and I think it's an i7. And so I have all my tracking and stuff on there, and then I've used this monitor for the mixer. And for the keyboard parts, I've got a couple of little keyboards, and Alesis Q49 and a little Akai on there as well. And for the recording of the acoustics, I used a Rode NT1A microphone, and pretty much even down to Mark Wright's nylon string guitar solo in Polaris was done in my wardrobe. Look at that. So we'd open the doors, put a microphone in there, and literally record straight in there, and it seemed to get quite a good sound, so go to the wardrobe. Okay, so let's have a look at the software. So for the drum parts for the album, I use Superior Drummer from Toontrack. So this is basically what it looks like while the song's playing. So you can program in virtually every drum hit if you want, change cymbals around and do all sorts of bits and pieces. Pretty awesome piece of software. Okay, so here's a screenshot of basically a completed track and what it would look like. If we shoot down here, you can see that all this green section here is basically the drums, broken down into individual drums, kick, snare, etc. So if I wanted to, I could just solo, say, just a kick drum, so you can hear what the kick drum sounds like. So some kicks in. Turn it up a little bit. And on top of that, I could put the snare in so you can hear the snare as well. And the other drums. Right, So these sort of purple pinky ones you see here are the left and right guitar tracks for the rhythm guitar, the 7-string guitar of One in the Chamber, so you can hear it. You can see that they're panned up here, left and right. And then over here you got the bass. Section here are the synths and keyboards. So if I just play this, and we'll just go through. You can barely even hear that, it's so quiet in there. Just turn it up so you can hear it. So that's the background synthesizer parts, all done on the Alesis. And here are the lead guitar tracks. Okay, and this is what a completed track looks like. 2 tracks there. Mixer section down there. So basically what I'm going to do now is just drop in the actual final mastered track over the top so you can hear what it sounds like. Okay, so that's a tour of the gear that I used and how I put it all together. So yeah, thanks for tuning in.